thank you everybody for joining this webinar. I think all the attendees worry about how to do the newsroom automations or master control automation. Today, hosted by 4A and Aveco, gonna conduct this webinar. And maybe Jim, from your side, please just quickly introduce your people.
Yeah, certainly. I'm Jim O'Brien, president of Aveco, and a guy who spent my life in the industry, mainly in automation for 40 some years in 43 countries, and one of the guys that helped take automation around the world. We're joined on our side by Jared Piper. Jared, you can turn on your camera and say hello. Jared is our global director of pre-sales and tremendously experienced top guy in the industry. So Jared, welcome. So we'll be getting back to Jared for a software demonstration, quick and focused in a few minutes. But we wanted to kick off the discussion on what are our webinar objectives.
You don't need to introduce Martin, no?
Oh, Martin Mock is our product manager for news automation. He's on his phone, not on camera. So Martin is here to answer questions as we get to the Q&A section at the end.
Especially tough question to Martin, please, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I love them. Thank you.
And Martin has been on the Moss committee forever,
Nice.
Helped win the Emmy for that.
Okay.
Honored participant in that committee.
And from 4A side, I'm Satoshi Kanemura, and I'm president and CEO of the 4A Corporations. 4A is just a slave of Aveco. Back to the Aveco, and I just invite our CTO, Bob Peterson. Bob, say hello to everybody.
Good afternoon. Glad to join you.
He's Mr. Technical. So tough question to Bob and Martin, please. Don't do that to me and Jim. Hey, thank you very much. So let's get started. So we distribute the booklet already. I think 3 big issues you are facing. One is, as I said, everybody say, cut the budget, reductions, cost reductions, manpower, everything. That's a big issue. But at the same time, the news, especially local news, is key for the small to mid station. They asking you, say, more news or creativity up, quality is up. So cut the cost, but the quality gonna be up. And then there are so many choices in the market, but of course you do not have enormous amount of budget. So within the budget, you have to pick the right tool to achieve cost cut and also quality up of the newsroom master control. So that's everybody has a big issues. So we try to address some issue behind that thing. So first of all, of course, everybody do not have any error of the on air. This is because live news, no error is allowed. So people try to go into the automation now, and the people start doing newsroom automations, but also master control automation. But what I heard, it is totally different to animal. It have to be connected to each other, but you have to pick newsroom computer automations or master control automation. That's increase some cost and error and everything. But Jim, any other good solution for that issues?
Yeah, we're the digital glue, if you will, that fits everything together. We integrate with 6 different newsroom computer systems, iNews, ENPS, Octopus, Open Media, and some others. We have an integrated media asset management platform, and we also integrate with many different MAM platforms. We have the largest library of APIs and implemented interfaces to all of the production gear and master control playout gear and virtual sets and graphics and video servers and camera robotics, production switchers. We love the 4A production switcher in particular because for small and mid-market stations especially, it has just such an extraordinary level of production horsepower. And when you automate that with a great interface to handle breaking news, it lets you really improve the look of the station's newscasts and news channels, and also lower the cost of it. So it's a great combination in our opinion. And so we also do playout automation at a high level, and both production control and playout control are in the same database, in the same system. So you never have another blip of black as you go between PCR and MCR or an upcut. So some very significant improvements to make the on-air look elegant and handle breaking news easily and have the production horsepower that 4A has been famous for.
I think Aveco is only the manufacturer who has both production and PCR and MCR together, same platform.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah, it's true. It's exclusive to Aveco. You know, nobody else has a real production automation platform that also is a master control platform. And that gives us a good advantage, especially when you tie in media asset management and interfaces with everything of the industry. We've kept in our lane of the automation side of the business and have a great experienced team doing interfaces and APIs.
So even people, it is very difficult to replace everything all at once, but they can implement master control automation first from Aveco, then later newsroom computers.
Yeah.
Kind of like a migration kind of approach is easy to do.
Yeah, quite modular in nature. Absolutely. You know, there's few facilities that are doing greenfield build outs. And so we are very accustomed to, you know, serving in one area and then potentially serving other areas of the enterprise. And this can be one station. And also we have architectures that can spread across all of the stations across the country. We've done that for, you know, a few very high-end broadcasters. So we scale from the enterprise, most sophisticated multi-city, multi-studios, down to simple small and mid-size stations and station groups.
And then I heard it's becoming a little trend that reduce the manpower, more automated. So sometimes some station try to do one guy gonna look after newsroom automation and a master control automation. But if it's the same platform, it could be easy, you know, to having Aveco to one guy to operate both.
Yeah, that's a really good point. In small and mid-sized stations, and then in the hours when the newsroom is not so well manned, you have the ability to very easily run production automation and master control automation in the same user interface. And that can also handle multiple channels. So we'll talk more about that a little later. But tying together more effective personnel use is a very important trend, and even extending that to news story production. There's a good set of tools for, you know, helping the producer editor get a high-end look out of a story production using our platform.
And I think you already mentioned a little bit, but always headache, or is a good one for the news broadcast station, is breaking news. Sometimes emergency news coming, you know, air traffic, you know, accident, whatever. So breaking news coming to the newsroom, but it's got to be on air for the master. How that Aveco integration can help to smooth all the breaking news?
Appreciate that question. That's really one of our key design criteria, to make breaking news easily handled in master control and in production automation. You have fewer people around, typically some hours when breaking news happens. And you'll find in the history of production automation, the automation kind of honestly got in the way of handling breaking news well. And so you kind of had to fight automation even to, you know, to get a good looking breaking news scenario covered. On our side, when we developed the newsroom automation control system, we had very keenly in mind handle breaking news easily and bring quick resources. It's one of the reasons for our integrated MAM. So you can find stuff easily. Oh, that what happened last week, and et cetera. So you can implement a breaking news story with elegance and ease, and also tie that into master control functionality very effectively.
Okay, but I heard some opinion from the broadcasters that because of manpower issue, or even younger engineers coming, or Generation Z who doing the iPad, the Mac, everything. But newsroom automation still is very script basis. It's certain skill set needed to write up all the script, make up the automation stuff. That I think it's tough for the younger generation.
It's a really good point. You know, in production automation, typically you have to have an expert do the scripting to get the story to air under automation control. We have a completely different approach, and it's sold by Avid, which is one of our OEM partners. They sell a mini version of that part of our newsroom automation. And it's something that we have excelled in for many years, letting a producer, reporter select the correct template, just drag and drop, and boom, you're ready to go to air under production automation, easier than any other system of the industry by far.
Yeah, so, everybody like drag and drop. So even
and Foray has a great tool set in terms of control of your production switchers and how versatile you can run graphics and roll in things. So Foray has really taken good steps also to simplify the use of their quite powerful production capability.
Wow, thank you, Jim. Yes, Foray philosophy has to be very, very high tech, but ease of use or intuitive. That is the main goal of the Foray. So as just mentioned, same as Aveco software, our graphics systems, it's easy to drag and drop on a timeline basis. No need to be skill set. Even first look, you understand the GUI, how to do it. It's very intuitive, and also switcher, everything, server, everything going to be very intuitive, drag and drop. So it's very good. I think it's a combination with Aveco system at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And implementing MOS and beyond MOS as some of the NRCS systems provide. MOS is a baseline, and then a bunch of proprietary capability in each of those platforms. We've done the full API on all of them.
Great. And then I think you already mentioned a little bit, but you have a variety of the range of the solutions. So some small station is newsroom and the master, but sometimes several newsroom or studios there, multi-studio, they have to do the automation. But I heard they have to spend a lot of money. Each station, each stadium, each stadium, stage, everything. You have to pay another software.
Yeah, it's true that traditionally, you had a newsroom production automation system for one studio. Oh, you have a second studio. Okay. You basically have a separate system, and tying them together and moving a production from one studio to the next is really a bloody nightmare. And our system has an underlying facility management, so you can move a production from one studio to another with just one press of a button. And everything moves across the camera robotics, the production switcher settings, the virtual sets, the graphics, all of it. And it's a wonderful, flexible tool set.
Good.
And, that also lets you do very inexpensive operations. And one of the highlights that Aveco developed over the years was a news wheel. And that won the industry's most prestigious honor a couple of years ago on a big project across India. And I was thinking I'd roll a 1-minute piece of video here just to explain what that project was. The IBC Innovation Award in 2019 for Content Everywhere was won by us against AWS and Microsoft and BBC and a lot of very big companies. But we had what was deemed the most innovative platform that year. So let me run this 60-second video.
Okay.
There is no mobile phone market like India. 1.2 billion phones, 1.4 billion people. India is the world's largest democracy, and news is the heart of public discourse. Leveraging its historic reputation for quality journalism, ETV Bharat, along with Aveco and other technology partners, have developed the world's first large-scale mobile news production and distribution system. 5,000 reporters covering 29 states, 24 studios, 24 news channels, 24 hours a day, in 13 languages. one nation, one app. There's never been a mobile news deployment like this, but as phone and tablet consumption explodes worldwide, broadcasters will take inspiration from this bold industry-changing step by ETV Bharat.
That's a great broadcast group, by the way. We had been for many years running 6 or 8 of their national TV networks. And this project, it was just so much fun to pull together. And it had a splash effect on the India media business that was, shocking. And the level of automation in this, using our news wheel approach, which easily implements 24-hour news channels, it was just a absolutely stunning success. And, we're honored to work with those folks for a lot of years. And 5,000 reporters in 13 languages running 24 news channels, 24 hours a day. And the level of efficiency of it is just terrific. So that was a nice project. And we were quite proud to work with
it's a perfect
ETV Bharat to pull that off.
Perfectly fits such India type of the huge population kind of country, but it's good for the cell phone application.
Oh, yeah.
That's a trendy.
Yeah,
And
it was wonderful. And we have, big customers doing sophisticated news production control, running camera robotics across the room, running Vintons and Radamax and Shotokus and others. And, having the ability to scale from big facilities running many studios down to, 24 channels for an app and then single individual stations where we're honored to serve the entire range of broadcasters.
And then let's talk back to the multi-studio application. I think that is kind of software trend. You can start the job on a very cheap software, but if you're gonna do more, you have to buy licensing, you have to buy the option, you have to it's all piled up. But as Jim mentions, Jim's case of the Aveco, as long as you have one studio, but you have multiple studio, same automation software can cover. So you don't need to be the double the price or triple the price, or for the rest of the life you have to pay for, keep paying for it. That's not gonna happen. And same for the 4A. I heard, some people in the audience have some experience. You're gonna have switchers or graphics or anything. Very cheap. Yes, cost cut, reductions, good. But if you're gonna do dissolve, or you have to have a license, or you have to have blue back screen, this option has to be needed, then end up your system going to be triple or 4 times. And then even licensing, you have to pay for the money for every single year for the rest of your life. So that is business trend. So I have no argument, but same as Aveco, our philosophy is like a switcher or graphics or server. It's going to be standard platform having necessary function from the beginning. Just a choice of IO number or whatever. So you can start using the switcher from the day one. It could be a little expensive against a naked switcher of others, but that's one tricky. It's going to be goes up licensing in the option and other boxes or whatsoever. So trust me, if you buy Aveco and a 4A system, that's it. You can start doing it on air from today. No need to worry about licensing options in multiple software cadence whatsoever. So that's, I hope, gonna help on the cost reduction part of it. Is that right, Jim?
Yeah, it's a really good point, Satoshi. It's an architecture in both cases that is very straightforward, and it's modular, so you can do what you need. But the production horsepower and the reliability of 4A is very, very well established. Terrific, solid technology. And on the Aveco side, a legendary reliability. We have channels on the air more than 20 years, never missed one single time code to air. We have a level of focus of, support, around the clock in case of both companies. And we really take broadcasting as the cannot fail, mission critical reality that it is. And so places that do lots of news run 4A, run Aveco effectively together. And, we're not predatory in terms of how we deal with customer upgrades and ongoing support. Very reasonable cost and very reliable gear.
And then thanks for Aveco. 4A gear and Aveco could have a very tight integrations. We already established good tight integrations. But sometimes when you pick up one switcher brand, you have to have same brand for everything. So no freedom sometimes. It is good and bad. But our case is you have a freedom. You can pick Aveco, you can pick any switcher, any router, any graphics. And then, of course, you can choose 4A. It's going to be tightly integrated Aveco already. So more freedom, you can choose a system to tie it up as a budget. So we are very open. Aveco 4 is more open to everybody to be partnership, everything.
Yeah.
So,
and you want us to prove it.
Oh, yes. We just keep talking, but nobody trusts us anyway.
So let's show some software here of how this actually works. Of course, it's mini version of what it is, and anybody coming to NAB, we'd love to show you in depth. Let's turn it over to Jared Piper, our global head of pre-sales and a genuine industry expert.
Great, thank you so much. So let's get into the software really quick. Of course, I can't show everything in the 5-10 minutes that I have allotted, but I'll show as much as I can. What I wanted to do is focus in on some of those key points that we're talking about, which is being able to run production and master control in the same interface. As you can see here, this is a master control application where we are controlling standard video server, standard mixer. It can even be a channel in a box, whether it's ours or somebody else. And then the same interface, we're integrated via the NRCS. Right now I'm showing with iNews via MOS protocol. We are receiving all of the rundowns. Okay. And then being able to play them out. So there's a lot of little widgets applications that you'll see here. But let's just focus on this one for the rest of today. So this is the actual production automation interface. Usually an operator will be using their control panel, which you will see on our camera here soon. But for demo purposes, we're going to show this one. We are controlling video servers, audio mixers, vision mixers, or production switchers, I should say. Controlling different microphones, camera robotics, obviously router and production switchers, and also graphics platform, all with one click. You'll see that we have a nice template-based control system. This one is called an opener jingle. And to start a newscast, just as simple as saying take here, and we can see a nice little NDI output of what's going on the screen. After a few seconds, we're going to jump to our first camera. And then we're going to jump to our second camera after a few more seconds and play some graphics. You'll notice our next application will be a headlines template. And this is pretty simple also. Just hitting our take button, we can run through headlines, running some nice little wipe effects and graphics and video. Just jumping through very quickly here. Of course, we would love to schedule a more in-depth demo and for you either at NAB or any other time that you might be available. And jumping through what headlines might look. The next story that I'm going to show is something that's called studio aux. Basically, we're in the studio, we're playing out of a camera, but we also have a different ME that we're controlling. There's really no limitation of how many MEs we can control. You decide which model of switcher works best for your workflow, and Aveco will just control all of those elements, not only on your switchers, but also your lighting, your graphics, etc. We are really agnostic when it comes to you choosing your technology.
Yeah.
So as you see, we have a nice little panel.
I was going to mention, also audio mixers, and our automation follows the mood of the day. A lot of times in production automation, the operators are kind of fighting the automation because of default settings. You have something exciting happens, everybody speaks louder, and then you're fighting the normative values. When you make a change on the audio mixer, in our case, we take that as the new normal, and that really helps simplify good production value in balancing audio levels.
Great. Thank you, Jim. And then I took off the over-the-shoulder graphic just for a second here, just so I can kind of show you what our LCD panel looks like. This will be in front of the operator. So as you know, as I go queuing elements, you'll see how the LCD panel changes depending on which elements are queued up, which elements are added at the last minute to the rundown. And then putting them on air is just as quick as pushing the buttons on the LCD panel or here in the interface also. So that's pretty easy to put stuff on air. I can also, since I'm playing out of an ME, I can also put the clip that I was playing on the over-the-shoulder directly to program, and even put the over-the-shoulder back. So really quickly, just running through the rundown as I need to. But another thing that I wanted to focus on, something that I want you to take away from this presentation, is how easy it is to run breaking news from our system. Let's just say that we're in the middle of Nebraska and only the anchorman is at the station. We don't have enough technology people. Well, the anchorman themselves, or just anybody that's sitting there drinking a cup of coffee at 2 in the morning while there's a tornado or snowstorm or whatever, can hit this breaking news button. And this breaking news button will automatically bring up a breaking news element and then put it on air. So now we're jumping into the studio with our last minute breaking news element without having to do anything else. So the last major point that I wanted you to take away from this presentation was, if we do have catastrophic failures, we had a customer just not too long ago that was 5 minutes into their newscast, and all of the lighting in their main studio went out. They had to move all of their operation over from their main studio, not only their operation, but also their talent, over to another studio that they had. So all they had to do in the automation was come in to what we call our rundown browser, select which rundown they were going to run from production control room A, and simply click on production control room B and assign it to. So not only can you change a rundown over from production room to production room, but you can also share those resources. We'll automatically route your graphics system, route your video switcher, your audio mixing, whatever is routable, we'll route that to where it needs to go, and 100% automated. Same thing if shows go long and you need to put 2 shows from the same studio together. We have this cool append to function where you can append multiple rundowns to a current rundown, something that just makes ease of operation. So like I said, I wish I had more time today, but that is all the time I was allotted. So Thank you very much for listening.
That's great. And we have, floating shots in breaking news. So as you run a newscast, you can very easily implement, the ME assignment. Like Jared was saying, we can independently control the MEs and we can apply them across multiple stories and timelines so that you have a camera on the explosion or the train crash, etc. Really elegant way to run news and a solid industry achievement. And again, both news automation, running the 4A or other switchers, and also running master control It can be one user, can be multiple user, and that can scale across the country. We have one US customer where we're running 4 national networks, and along with that, we're running 32 remote stations in the same central control system, running stream splicers. We also can output multiple channels for your .2, .3 channels for the online presence, etc. So, and do all this very effectively and cost, and with a reasonable level of expense. So,
oh, great demo. So
yeah, thank you, Jared.
I hope he proved it. Everybody agree he proved it, but this is just the introduction. So please come to see us at NAB. Or definitely they're gonna do the deep dive demos or all other question and Q&A and everything.
Yeah.
But we time limited, so
yeah. So let's see quickly what questions might have come up.
yeah. Okay. For your side, oh yeah, this is very basic, but please name it of which NRCS newsroom.
Okay. Yeah, we have iNews, we have ENPS, we have Octopus, Open Media, 3 others, more regional, smaller NRCS systems. So we've got a good range, and that's part of our library of interfaces and implemented APIs. We do all of the VizRT graphics platform, every little nuance of API that's available. We, are impressed with the Class X of Foray, all of the other graphics platforms of the industry, all of the camera robotics, all of the, routing switchers, and most of the main audio mixers, many of the industry MAMs and PAMs. And tying that all together is our solid expertise and our service to broadcasters, making it all work like one system.
Oh, so most of available in the market newsroom computer system can be
yeah. All of the majors and a few of the minors.
Okay. I think during your answer that's related to this question, that some people even didn't know Huawei has a graphic system. As I said, it's very intuitive. So what the Huawei graphic system is a good player at this news environment. So
yeah,
I'm gonna ask my technical CTO guys. Bob?
Yes, still here, just absorbing it all.
Yeah, people didn't know we have a graphic system, but how it's gonna be better than currently available in the market.
For the Class X system, it's been in business for 30 years now. It has for MOS automation, it has a complete render system, hidden or virtual render system. Requires no operator. It's simply under automation control. They also have, of course, the manual, but they have a hybrid as well. So your automation system run by, or your system run by automation can switch back to pure manual operation and shows the same stories as it was using on air. So it gives you an in-between to use. And then you can go back to just a pure manual or switch it back to pure render.
Mm. And then,
yeah. And by the way, in our news automation, some systems make it so difficult to turn on and off parts of graphics. In a breaking news situation with us, let's say you need a new ticker and you want to, grab control of that as a manual step. It just takes, one button click, and now you've got that ticker layer under direct manual control for handling breaking news and, setting a new scroll, et cetera. So the way in which you can change graphics layers is a terrific capability and especially helpful in breaking news.
And then Bob, it's very intuitive, like a drag and drop type of very, good GUI like Aveco does, right?
Yeah. Simply drag buttons to a shot box, link buttons together if you're running manually, trigger one effect from another effect, either under automation or manually.
Good. The other question, yeah, I think it is very critical question, I think, for the broadcasters. What the service structure or services like 24/7, because this is news on air.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You know, Aveco is honored to provide support for many of the largest and most complex TV networks of the world. I mean, if you get into what we've actually got and what we do every day, you'll be pretty significantly impressed. So we have a solid 24/7, 365, experienced support people on duty, on call, monitoring everything, and able to respond to whatever comes up. And of course, similarly, Foray is very widely used for broadcast operations and knows the 24/7 nature of what real broadcast support requires.
One unique point of Foray is we do not have 1-800 number. So you guys don't need to worry about 1-800, push 1, push 7, push 9, and go back to the menu. No, we in person get the phone call if something happened, and we're gonna fix it. In person, we can talk to. And then we always prepare some training, missioning, or support. That is done by Mr. Bob, right?
One of many, yes.
So anytime you need Bob or other engineer from us, just pick up the phone. I shouldn't say this maybe, but I'm gonna give you the cell phone number for you guys.
Every place I go, I leave my direct cell phone number.
Yeah.
I occasionally get calls. I don't get so many calls that I wish I hadn't left the numbers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Good thing for us is nobody so far called us so quick, so often. It's gonna be very robust system. So never broken. That's for philosophy at the moment. So
yeah, and I really admired Foray's leadership really in deploying 4K architectures. To implement now a standard HD, and also that system is ready for 4K when and if you upgrade to that. Very nice capability. Similarly with Aveco, we have a good level of control in 4K environments, also cloud environments. We have a number of channels that are running master control in the cloud and on-prem and in hybrid situations. So it gives you just terrific flexibility.
all right, great. Another question is, they already have MAM system in the station. Is that connected to the
yeah we have a great experienced team that manages interfacing with MAMs and PAMs, and we have integrations with pretty much every significant player on the global stage in media asset management. And so part of our design will be coming in, interfacing the workflow automation so that we work well with existing MAMs and PAMs and vice versa, and make a workflow automation deployment that serves the organization in enhancing efficiency. It's a good point. When you have islands that don't tie together, sometimes it really undermines the effectiveness of the place. And we've got a great body of experience in pulling that all together.
Good. And then, you have your own MAM system as well to tie in.
Yes, and then we interface with the whole range of Avid, for example, from the Blue Order originated high-end MAM to the Interplay, and across the whole Media Central line. We integrate with every other significant player. So we integrate with automated QC systems. So new arriving media is managed. We integrate with all the major transcoding platforms to get things to air quicker once they arrive.
Thank you. And the other one is, yes, we know Foray has a switcher. That's good. Thank you. But you said graphics, or do you have any player server type of things to tie up with Aveco? Is that the question, Bob?
Yes, absolutely. We have our Insight line of servers. They're all 4-channel. They're appliance servers, so they all run deadheaded. So deadheaded servers, of course, no problem to interface with Aveco, or just to take direct control using a web browser from anywhere in the world to control, record, playback, simple trim editing of clips and exporting of multiple clips, multiple ISOs to a new file. Those files then can transfer to any NAS system, and they will appear on the MAM system as well.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great. And when we pick up a file, we have workflow automation, so we can send it to transcoding and the various profiles needed associated with that folder, auto-populate websites, send to other stations in the group across the country, facilitate file sharing, bring in media from all of the major providers of ad delivery and the news paths of the world, et cetera. We have, a good level of focus at a software level, tying everything together.
Yeah, just one note from me is 4A is a little unique company. Unlike other company, we never acquire the company to be one 4A umbrella. Rather than that, we try to be partnership with the company. That way, we don't need to control them. They're going to do their best. We're going to do our best. And then both together to partnership to make up system. I think that's win-win for the both company. Because rather than acquire the company to under control, do this, rather than that, we really respect the partner to do things. We do things, go together to make systems. So that's just the Bob said, Class X is other company, but we partnership to make a good graphics. Insight, another one on the server is a different company, but we respect each other to make a good system. Now Aveco, we respect Aveco to be a good partnership. Yeah, they have their advantage. We have our advantage. Both advantages together to make partnership to make a workable system. That's the philosophy of 4A, and I think Aveco is the same. So that's
yes, absolutely. Our legacy is to interface with everybody and do a good job in automation control. And so we scale down to simple small stations. We handle that extremely well, and 4A is an especially important partner there. And then we scale up to serve many of the most sophisticated and advanced multi-studio, multi-site broadcast enterprise projects of the world. So it's a and we price it appropriate to the market size. So even though you might get the same capability you get in one place with super sophisticated production switchers, a small station will pay a lot less running a 4A and still have similar levels of quality production power.
Yep. Okay, sorry.
Great.
So
this is about it, I know.
But of course, we can answer to your questions by email, whatever, or please come to visit our booth. So I hope everybody have a good takeaway. First of all, PCR, MCR is the same platform. So you can cut the cost, 2-man band or 3-man band to the 1-man band, or a good migration you can do, or even multi-studio, you can use only one software. That's significant help to reduce your cost. And then because of the PCR, MCR integration, breaking news, easy operations, and the easy operation, not only that integration, but UI, template, drag and drop, graphics, switcher, everything very intuitive. So no worry about, and totally robust, never be broken, but 24/7 support to you. So that's, I hope, is a good takeaway today. I hope it's going to help your issue of the pain point, or the 3 pain points we talked about at the beginning. And of course, you can challenge us at NAB. Please come to our booth. I hope in the chat area, you can see all the email address of ours, or booth numbers, or meeting arrangement. Or you can come
Yeah.
back at any time.
Both of our booths are really easy to find. Satoshi-san and 4A is right on the main aisle in the central hall. We're in the west hall right next to Harmonic. So, we welcome a chance to show you in greater detail and talk over how we might be able to be of service.
And then at the 4A booth, also we have some GUIs or set up for the Aveco as well. So we can talk about that too. But don't forget about 4-day products as well. There are so many exciting products at NAB.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Satoshi, and thanks everybody who was able to join. We really appreciate the chance to shop talk quality technology in the industry.
All right. See you at NAB, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, bye now.
Bye for now. Thank you all.